Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Hare Krishna Maharaj. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto, 26th chapter, text 28 to 35. So, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So the text is in prose form. We will read the translations and purports by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Text 28. We will read 35 texts, but translations we will read from 28. 28 translation. So 5th canto. So before trying to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam, sincerely seeking praise and blessings of all the Vaishnavas, especially His Holiness Nimai Swami Maharaj, so that we try to share something on what we heard from Parampara and Prabhupada. So this chapter especially hellish planets are discussed. What all living entity went through in his material world are described here. 28 hellish planets are described. So let us see the translations. 28. A person who in this life bears false witness or lies while transacting business or giving charity is severely punished after death by agents of Yamaraj. Such a sinful man is taken to the top of a mountain 800 miles high and thrown headfirst into the hell known as Avichimat. 800 miles means into 1.5. 1200 kilometers. More than from Bombay to here. This hell has no shelter and is made of strong stone resembling the waves of water. There is no water there, however, and thus it is called Avichimat, waterless. Although the sinful man is repeatedly thrown from the mountain and his body broken into tiny pieces, he still does not die but continuously suffers chastisement. So this hell, avichimat, is for those who are false witnesses. What goes on currently in courts? False witness or lies while either giving charity, also in the business also. So that's hell. Avichimat is explained, text 29. Any Brahmana or Brahmana's wife who drinks liquor is taken by the agents of Yamaraj to the hell known as Avyahpana. This hell also awaits any Kshatriya, Vaishya or person under a vow who in illusion drinks somras. In Avyahapana, the agents of Yamaraj stand on their chests and pour hot melted iron into their mouths. Purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. One should not be a Brahmana in name only and engage in all kinds of sinful activities, especially drinking liquor. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas must behave according to the principles of their order. If they fall down to the level of Shudras, who are accustomed to drinking liquor, they will be punished as described herein. So the responsibility of the higher caste is explained. Text 30. A low-born and abominable person who in this life becomes falsely proud, thinking I am great, and who thus fails to show proper respect to one more elevated than he by birth, austerity, education, behavior, caste or spiritual order. He is like a dead man even in this lifetime. And after death he is thrown headfirst into the hell known as Kshara Kardama. There he must suffer great tribulation at the hands of the agents of Yamaraj. One should not become falsely proud. One must be respectful toward a person more elevated than he by birth, education, behavior, caste or spiritual order. If one does not show respect to such highly elevated persons but indulges in false pride, he receives punishment in Kshara Kardama. So this is a hell for those who are falsely proud and not respecting others. 31. There are men and women in this world who sacrifice human beings to Bhairava or Bhadrakali and then eat their victims' flesh. Those who perform such sacrifices are taken after death to the abode of Yamaraj, where their victims, having taken the forms of Rakshasas, cut them into pieces with sharp swords. Just as in this world the man-eaters drank their victims' blood, dancing and singing in jubilation, their victims now enjoy drinking the blood of the sacrificers and celebrating in the same way. Just like the pastime of Jadabharat was about to killed by some dacoits, like kind of personalities are mentioned here. Text 32. In this life, some people give shelter to animals and birds that come to them for protection in the village or forest. And after making them believe that they will be protected, such people pierce them with the lances or threads and play with them like toys, giving them great pain. After death, such people are brought by the assistance of Yamaraj to the hell known as Shulaprota, where their bodies are pierced with sharp needle-like lances. They suffer from hunger and thirst, and sharp-beaked birds such as vultures, herons come at them from all sides to tear at their bodies. Tortured and suffering, they can remember the sinful activities they committed in the past. Text 33. Those who in this life are like envious serpents, always angry and giving pain to other living entities, fall after death into the hell known as Dandashuka. My dear king, in this hell there are serpents with 5 or 7 hoods These serpents eat such sinful persons just as snakes eat mice. So envious nature, the pride nature, so many internal qualities are also mentioned here. Not just external sinful activities, but internally also how one should be refined. 34. Those who in this life confine other living entities in dark wells, granaries, or mountain caves, are put after death into the hell known as Avata Nirodhana. They themselves are pushed into dark wells where poisonous fumes and smoke suffocate them, and they suffer very severely. Text 35. Yastviha va atithin yastviha va atithin abhyagatan va grahapatir asakrit upagatamanyur didakshur iva papena chakshusha nirikshate tasya chapi niraye papadrishter akshini vajratunda gridraha kankakaka vataadayaha prashayoru balat utpatayanti. Word to word meaning, translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktan Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yaha, a person who, to, but, iha, in this life, va, are, atithin, guest, abhyagatan, visitors, va, are, grahapati, a householder, asakrit, many times, upagata, obtaining, manyu, anger, didakshu, one desiring to burn, iva, like, papena, sinful, chakshusha, with eyes, nirikshate, looks at, tasya, of him, cha, and, api, certainly, niraye, in hell, papadrishte, of he whose vision has become sinful, akshini, the eyes, vajratunda, those who have powerful beaks, gridraha, vultures, kanka, herons, kaka, crows, vata adayaha, and other birds, prasahiya, violently, urubalat, with great force, utpatayanti, pluck out. A householder who receives guests or visitors with cruel glances, as if to burn them to ashes, he is put into the hell called Paryavartana, where he is gazed at by hard-eyed vultures, herons, crows, and similar birds, which suddenly swoop down and pluck out his eyes with great force. According to the Vedic etiquette, even an enemy who comes to the householder's home should be received in such a gentle way that he forgets that he has come to the home of an enemy. A guest who comes to one's home should be received very politely. If he is unwanted, the householder should not stare at him with the unblinking eyes. For one who does so will be put into the hell known as Paryavartana after death. And there many ferocious birds like vultures, crows, and herons will suddenly come upon him and pluck out his eyes. We'll offer prayers and we will try to see some points. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Vimate Bhakti Vedanta Swame Niti Namene Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravadi Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishay Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhura Mohan Dev Ki Shri Shri Nidai Gosandra Bhagavan Ki Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So welcome to morning satsang Srimad Bhagavatam class. So we are discussing on the topic of a 5th canto, 26th chapter. The hells are described in 5th canto. Is mentioned how the 5th canto sthanam, the positions of different planetary systems are explained in this canto. Now Sukadeva Goswami is explaining about the hellish planets at the bottommost part of the universe. So out of 28 hells, so many hells are described. And who are the persons? What are the qualifications that we can attain so that we can visit there? Not we, but in general those who are. I also went through. I may not be remembering. But so the hells, different kinds of hells are described, and what causes them, all the living entities to go through such kind of painful situations are explained, different causes, so that one will be careful. So many hells are described, and different kinds of punishments are explained by agents of Yamaraj. So definitely, as we discussed last time also, the purpose of the pain, the purpose of the jail is not to give the pain to the criminals. The whole purpose is to reform them. That is the main purpose of the different planetary systems also. Different kinds of punishments that are being awarded. That's a great award, the punishment also. Unless one realizes that's an award, one cannot reform only. So, but that's one of the main aspect, different kinds of punishments. And especially in these translations are explained how, though they are thrown from the 1200 kilometers top mountains, there is no pain. There is no any death. Pain is there, suffering is there, there is no death is not there. So, a special kind of body is given after death. If you read 3rd canto, we have read 3rd canto where in 3rd canto the descriptions of how one is taken to after death, what happens, it is explained. And then within seconds he is taken to different hellish planets. While going through what happens, that are explained, he is given a special body. That body is such that how much you try to give punishment, it will not die. The punishment is given. The punishment is transferred to him, but it will not die at all, the body, the gross body. Because the soul is covered by two bodies currently, conditioned life, the gross body and subtle body. The gross body is given away while death, but the subtle body carries along. So on the subtle body, another body is given by the Yamadutas specifically, in order to give the punishment to the soul. Not to the soul exactly, but to the consciousness of the person. So that he understands what he is doing something wrong. So the main purpose, as we are discussing, that all these heavy planets, so that he is reformed at the end of time. He is more realized that he is doing something going against the laws of nature, going against the laws of God. That's what the main punishment for the jail criminals also. They have to align with the laws of God. So they are described, so many hellish conditions are described here. We discuss a little bit. And especially one point we will see, Prabhupada explains here, very important point. One thing is, in text 35 he explains about how these are all not just gross sinful activities. They are all more subtle aspects, just like here, etiquettes of receiving a guest. It's such an amazing subtle aspect. Even if you see a guest with an unblinking eye, you are taken to hell. Such a refined laws are existing. Though you are not speaking anything, you are not speaking any harsh words, nor beating anyone, you are just glaring at. So initially when I joined, I was given first service of Jai Vijay for kitchen. Prasadam hall, Jai Vijay means those who are there, they can understand. The moment you see someone, they will have different emotions inside. So, but we have to see everyone who are coming, who are not coming. It's a service right now. It's a service. We have to render service. So we have to see people who are coming, who are not coming. Otherwise, undue advantage is taken for temples. So I was just in Prasadam hall. I just came on top. Started that day. I went a little late, maybe 5 minutes. So I just went there and I was just standing there, Prasadam hall. I was just standing there and seeing. One person came running. Sorry, Prabhuji, sorry. मैं आज आ गया बिना कूपन का आ गया. So he was telling, for you, he was very in a fearful situation and asking. I didn't say anything to anyone. I was just standing there and seeing. By seeing me only, he was in a little fearful situation. So just glances can make one fearful. So here we see that how one should be careful here, that how the guest also has to be seen very, very, very cordially, as Prabhupada explaining. Very tough job, especially in temple, especially during prasadam times. So as we discussed that how our temples are inviting everyone, those who come to temple, actually it is mentioned that how everyone is inspired by the Lord to come to temple. They are all guests of the Lord. How we should receive them, how we should treat them. So that's a different subject, but still everyone is a guest of the Supreme Lord whoever comes to temple. But we should be careful enough. Of course, some people also come in with different motives. So we should also deal them accordingly. But at the same time, the principle is explained here, that how one should treat even an enemy with respect, especially the guests, atidhis. How one should not. Nowadays we have all the doors have the vertical lens. Indoor, every door has a lens. Who came? Who is not supposed to be allowed? So these are all very refined etiquettes that Prabhupada explaining here, that one should be careful. Even guests should not be seen with angry eyes. And Prabhupada in the previous purport, he was explaining about how these Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, this is another point, how one should be responsible in their posts and positions. If a Brahmana is in name only and engaging all kinds of sinful activities, he is taken also into hell, different hell. So here, Nimagraha and Nimagraha. So Nimagraha means he doesn't follow at all the rules and regulations. Nimagraha means he doesn't understand why he is following the rules. So like that here, the Brahmana is not is responsible. So last time we are discussing how human life is a responsible life. So we should be taking care of our responsibilities. The highest dharma of human life is to practice spiritual life. So otherwise, if you are not fulfilling our responsibilities, then we are given some kind of, we are awarded some kind of punishment so that we come to senses. So that is explained here. But so this is just to give the context what is going on and what Prabhupada is explaining in these verses. Different hells, especially subtle aspects, anger, envy, and of course other things are lust, greed, other things are already we covered, many verses. All these subtle aspects are also is covered here in these verses. How with all these anger, lust, greed, pride is also explained. How one is thinking that I am great and not respecting others. The moment we have pride, then we don't respect others. So that's the nature of the pride. They also taken to hell. That's what mentioned in these verses. So this is one of the aspects. Definitely, as devotees, we may have one question here. We are chanting Hare Krishna. Then our devotees are taken to different hells is a question. When we are chanting Hare Krishna, doing devotional service, who is qualified to take into hell and who is not qualified to take in hell? So that we will just discuss in this class. And what are the major considerations? So that is described in Srimad Bhagavatam by Yamaraj himself in 6th canto, 3rd chapter. He explains who should be taken to hell, who should be brought to hell, and who should not be brought to hell. So when we are practicing devotional service, so when we may have all this, at least I have all these kinds of tendencies, anger, envy, what kind of, all this mentioned, what are all mentioned in these verses. So the question may come, hey, we are practicing devotional service, chanting Hare Krishna. We hear many glories of chanting holy names. Just by hearing one holy name, just like Ajamil, just chanted one holy name, saved from all kinds of hellish conditions. So what is the qualification? So it's explained here. Yamaraj is saying here. Please repeat. Jivana Bhakti Bhagavad Gunanam Adheyam Chetaschana Smarati Tacharana Ravindam Krishnaya no namati yad chiraye kadapi Tananadvam asato kruta vishnu krityam Jiva Navakti. Those who didn't use their tongues to chant the names of the Lord, the qualities of the Lord, Bhagavad Gunanamadheyam. Yamaraj is saying to Yamadutas, the conversation here, the famous Ajamil and the story of Yamadutas and Yamaraj and Vishnudutas, the 6th canto, the 3rd chapter explains. He is saying to Yamadutas, my dear servants, please don't bring certain people to me and bring those persons who don't chant, who don't use their tongues to chant the names of the Lord or to chant the qualities of the Lord. Jivva Navakti Bhagavad Gunanamadheyam. Bring those fellows who are not chanting or who are not glorifying the Lord. Chetas Nasmarati Tacharanaravindam. And who are not remembering Kaya Manasa Vacha. 3 levels are explained. Chetas, by consciousness, by internally in the heart, who are not remembering that Charanaravindam, who are not remembering the lotus feet of the Lord. Krishnaya no namati, by their body, those who are not offering obeisances. That's why Krishna is saying in Gita, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhya jimam namaskuru mame vaishya satyam te pratijane priyosime. So we have to just hear the laws of God given in the books, codes of books. So just by following laws, one will be saved. So if we don't follow the laws, then Yamaraj is saying, these fellows should be brought to me. Krishnaya no namati yat chiraye kadapi. Even once also, Krishnaya no namati is not offering obeisances to Krishna. Tan anayadvam, they should be brought. Akrita Vishnu Krityan. So they didn't do any kinds of auspicious activities related to Supreme Lord. Asata, they are asat. So tan anayadvam, they should be brought to me. So this is the criterion that that follows that who doesn't hear the holy name or chant the names of the Lord, Gunanamadheyam, who doesn't offer obeisances, he doesn't think of the Lord, Kaya Manasa Vacha, that person should be brought. Then question comes, everyone is in the whole world, people are just maybe chanted sometimes, right? No? Chanted sometimes the holy name of the Lord by here and there, right or wrong? By any ways they may be chanting one name of the Lord. Even negligently also one chants. Also he is saved from different hells. Then who is qualified to go to hell? Right? Who are in the hell? So that question may come, because all people are so, though they may be sinful, here one point comes that a major criterion, though one may be sinful, but one should not be offensive. Sinful one might be, offensive one should not be. So the pastime of Haridas Thakur and Lakshahira and Ramchandra Khan clearly distinguishes between these two. Lakshahira was a sinful personality, but Ramchandra Khan was offensive personified. So we could see, we can try to discuss that pastime, how it is, though Lakshahira was specifically Haridas Thakur delivered just by his chanting the holy names, but the Ramchandra Khan was destroyed by his own offensive activities. So these kinds of, especially though one may be chanted once the name of the Lord, heard the or went to offering obeisances to the Lord, etc., etc., but still if one is offensive to the devotees of the Lord or to the Lord himself, Lord definitely forgives, but especially the devotees, if he is very, very offensive to the devotees, then one will not be forgiven at all. Then he is taken to the hell. So though one may be doing that. So first criterion is, if he is not remembering the Lord, especially the Western countries. In India, at least some people are remembering or chanting the names at least once. We can try to see that aspect, but especially other countries, they don't even hear the Lord, of course, in a different way. They also can chant their own religions, names of the God, remembering the Lord basically. So those will be saved from the hells, but if they are offensive to devotees, though they may be doing their own religious activities, but if they are offensive to those who are sincere and serious, they will be taken to hells definitely. So that is explained here by one of these short pastime. We will try to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, I will cast into hell for thousands of lives. So who is cast into hell, we will see. Text 45 from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, 17th chapter. So here the pastime of Gopal Chapal pastime is explained. So this Gopal Chapal, you know the pastime, but I will just try to read once again. Tina dina rahi sei Gopala Chapal sarvange haila kushta vahe raktadhar. So what happened previously to this? So this Gopal became so envious of Shiva's Thakur. So he is getting so much name and fame. Say, why should be getting name and fame? So then he devised a means that to put all the Durga worship paraphernalia, the meat, all kinds of blood and other things in front of his house. And the next morning, Shiva Thakur, when he opened door, everything was dirty things are there. Then out of great humility, of course, Shiva Thakur's response was entirely different. How the response is entirely different, that is a different discussion itself. How a devotee responds or reacts particular situations. But seeing this Gopal Chapal's activity, he was not there in the scene. He just put in the night and he went his home. Apparently no one knows. But after 3 days, what happened? This Gopal Chapal, Sarvange hoila kushta vahe raktadhar. All the limbs became kushtarog, the melting away and the blood is flowing. So that's how this Gopal Chapal got leprosy. After 3 days, leprosy attacked Gopal Chapal and blood oozed from the source all over his body. So one may be thinking, I am getting away by doing all offensive activities. But definitely it is in the background. They are waiting. So this Gopal Chapal was attacked by leprosy. Sarvanga bedila kite kate nirantar asahya vedana dukhe jwalaye antar. So small disease only we cannot tolerate. Some small fever, dengue or this and that, small things only the body becomes so tough to handle. What to speak of these terrible diseases. Incessantly covered with germs and insects biting him all over his body, Gopal Chapal felt unbearable pain. His entire body burned in distress. So this kind of a ninda on the devotees, especially the sincere and serious devotees, when we start trying to criticize them or offend them, blaspheme them, so the severe reactions are awaiting. That is explained in this very, very, very vivid pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is saying, now he will say, what he will say, let us see. Ganga gate vrikshatale raheta vasiya ekadina bale kichu prabhu ke dekhiya. So now he is staying at the, so generally these people are not allowed inside the village to stay. They will be kept outside the village. So he was staying near Ganga Tat. The Vrikshatale is staying, under the tree is staying. But once he saw the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going that way, then he was praying to the Lord. He is asking the Lord. What is asking? Grama sambandeyami tomara matula bhagina muyi kushta vyadite hayachiva kula. Grama sambande, I am your relative. I am your like kind of uncle, matula, maternal uncle. So he is trying to develop a relationship so that compassion can be aroused. So my dear nephew, I am your maternal uncle in your village relationship. Please see how greatly this attack of leprosy has afflicted me. Loka sabha uddharite tomara avatar muyi bada dhukki more karaha uddhar. So he is praying to the Lord. He is realizing out of pain, right now. This is what we are trying to see from the essence of that hellish planets. The transformation has to come. The reformation, at least recollection of the sinful activities or the what pain we cause to others. That reflection, recollection and reflection and repentance has to come. So here just we try to discuss how Prabhupada explains 4 kinds of intelligence in Nectar of Instruction. Just trying to reformation, on the point of reformation. So there he explains 4 levels of personalities. He explains 4 levels of intelligence. First person, he hears about the painful situations. Right now, he hears about sinful activities. Hey, if you do sin, just like we are hearing, if you do sin, you will be punished. He hears and refrains. This is first class intelligence. Just by hearing, he reformed. That's it. Fire is danger. That's it. He hears and realizes. So then, second class person, second class intelligence, what is that? Hears and he sees. He hears, yeah, fire is danger. And then he sees also others, fire accidents. Then he says, Arey, fire is dangerous. See how he's burned. So we should not touch the fire. And then explains third class intelligence. He hears, he sees, and then he has to experience. The third level of intelligence, this fellow, though he hears, he sees also. There is so much trouble is there in this life. Everybody is suffering. But still he undergoes that kind of enjoyment or whatever. So then he realizes, oh, it's very dangerous. So we should not touch the fire. And then explains about the fourth kind of intelligence. What is fourth level intelligence? This fellow hears and sees and experiences, and he doesn't at all reform at all. Still doing the same activities. So that kind of fellows is no question of any reformation. How do you reform them? How do you reform them? There is no possibility at all on their own. But that responsibility comes to the devotees. And the devotees who are chanting Hare Krishna, trying to devote devotion service, when they go out chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So by hearing the holy name, by giving prasad, by tasting prasad, then there slowly the reformation starts internally. Otherwise there is no sense only what they are doing, how they are doing. There is no question of any. That's where Vaishnava compassion comes into picture. Just like Prabhupada, as in this month, we will see that how Prabhupada, by English calendar, Prabhupada started the journey on August 13th, 1965. But Tithi wise, it is coming on 29th August, how Prabhupada started journey from Calcutta, King's George Dockyard. So the journey started. There is no any force on him. Nobody was forcing him to go right now. At that ripened age, at that without any connections, without any money, without any contacts, you don't know what will happen. No any kind of clue what is going to happen. But still he went out to give compassion. It's just driven by compassion. The driving force is just compassion. And by the mercy of the Lord, they try to go around and try to save all kinds of living entities who are headlong to the hell with all kinds of sinful activities right now. And with Prabhupada, of course, we also released Telugu Yadi Prabhupada Na Hoita song as a Golden Jubilee festival. How that's a famous, wonderful song. All glories to His Holiness Japada Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. So such a beautiful song we can correlate to. We can correlate to how Prabhupada has done such an amazing compassion. So that is the only mercy of Vaishnavas who can be brought to senses. Arey, you are suffering. Come on. So that kind of just to narrate one short pastime where is one of the sannyasis. So he was how the Prabhupada books can shake one. So this personality was just trying to having a good party with a wonderful, with a different parties. In parties and girlfriend, he was in the lawn. He was just staying in the lawn and reading what Prabhupada book. So he was reading Prabhupada book and he came to one point. Just like all living entities enjoy, even the hog in the gutter and enjoys eating stool. Then when he read the statement, he was shaken and fell from the bench. What is saying? How this we are all our enjoyment and hog's enjoyment is same? What kind of statement is this? With that kind of a statement, when he read, he was shaken to the core. So that's how he started trying to come to the temple, see what is this, what is knowledge. So that's how he started coming to temple, joined, and became great personality. So that's how the Prabhupada is giving us an opportunity to understand or saving from all kinds of dangers and hellish planets. So here, but one will not be saved. One has to be extremely careful also while chanting the holy names, while trying to do bhakti also. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, let us see what he is saying. So he is Gopal Chapal, though he is begging Supreme Lord, protect him, but still, what he is saying, let us see. Etasuni Mahaprabhura Haila Krudaman Krudaveshe Bale Tare Tarjana Vachan. By showing a finger, Tarjana means showing the forefinger. So Etasuni Mahaprabhura Haila Krudaman, he became so angry. Mahaprabhu is the compassionate. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishena. So we every day sing Namo Mahavadanyaya. Though munificent, but still he became so angry here. Krudaman, Krudavesh, Tarjana Vachan. So what the Vachan, what is saying? Let us repeat. Are papi bhakta dveshi tore na uddharimu. Koti janma yei mate kidaya kayayumu. Are papi, oh sinful person, bhakta dveshi, you are envious of devotees, bhakta dveshi. Tore na udharimu, I will not deliver you, you fellow, you rascal. Koti janma yei mate. What? Not one life. How many? Koti janma yei mate. Like this only. Kidaya, by all the insects. Kaya imu. I will not punish, but these insects will punish you. If a person is punishing you, that is another false ego. If small insects are biting you, or destroying you, that is another insult. Right, no? So, Kidaya Kayemu, I will make you suffer like this, not one life, millions of lives I will make you. Shrivase Karalili Tuyi Bhavani Pujan Koti Janma Habetora Raurave Patan. So, you made Srivas Thakur, you put offenses, you are offending Srivas Thakur. So, Koti Janma Habetora Raurave Patan. Raurava hell, we heard that Raurava hell, what kind of hell? So that Raurava, one of the hellish planets is Raurava, is explained here. You have made Srivas Thakur appear to be have been worshipping goddess Bhavani. Simply for this offense, you will have to fall down into hellish life for 10 million births. So that's how the main point is explained here, that how one should be extremely careful that though we are chanting the holy names, not only we, anyone neglectfully or anyway chanting the holy names, if they are sinful, they will be delivered. But if they are offensive, then one has to be facing these kinds of situations of hellish life. So, of course, later on, the pastime has a good ending also. Though Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very harsh and very, very what to say, kind of trying to throw in the hell different millions of lives, but still when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taken sannyas and went to Puri, and when he came back to Bengal, that time also he was begging forgiveness to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he gave a solution, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hey, you are a fool, you go to Srivas Thakur and beg forgiveness from him, then only you will be saved. So then, that's how is explained here in the last verse. We will read and we will pause here. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after accepting the general order of life, went to Jagannath Puri and then came back to village Kulia, upon his return, that sinful man took shelter of Lord's lotus feet. The Lord, being merciful, gave him instructions for his benefit. So that's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave special mercy also. Though he was sinful, he was offensive, but he gave the solution. You have committed an offense at the lotus feet of Srivas Thakur. The Lord said, first you must go there and beg for his mercy. Then if he gives you his blessings and you do not commit such sins again, you will be freed from these reactions. So this is the conclusion, that how one should be. If one doll commits some offenses, One should beg forgiveness and one should not commit such offenses again. Though its sins is written, but it's more of offensive, reflective. So then only one will be saved from all kinds of hellish conditions. Though one may be practicing, or one may be kind of so-called pious personalities also will be taken to hellish conditions. So this is the kind of what I just wanted to discuss. So we'll see how this 5th canto, 26th chapter explaining different hellish planets, and especially these verses. Prabhupada is making a point how we should be responsible for our lives. All people should be responsible, especially the higher classes, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and not just name only. And even, in fact, for every human being should be responsible. Human life is a life of responsibility, and one should be careful to not offend others, not be proud, not be envious, not be angry. All these situations are explained, and all the hellish conditions are also explained, and how one should be careful. And we have seen that what are the qualification by Yamaraj himself is mentioning, that how one will be taken to hellish planets. From 6th canto we have seen that just by chanting holy name neglectfully also one will be saved from hellish conditions. But still another condition we have seen, though one may be chanting, but still one has to be careful about offenses. Sinful one might be, offensive one should not be. So that we have seen from the small pastime Haridas Thakur also, and especially from Gopal Chapal, how one should be careful that one should not be. That's why Rupa Goswami explains in Nectar of Instruction that Nindadi Shunyam Hrudamipsita Sangalabdya. One should be associating persons, one should start rendering services to those who are free from this offensive mentality. Then only we will be advancing in spiritual life. So that has been brought. Of course, one more point we have seen how people will not be able to realize these kind of realizations may not brought on their own, but it's our responsibility as Vaishnavas. The epitome of example is Srila Prabhupada himself. We have seen that how by his mercy we are saved from all these kinds of hellish lives. And we have the responsibility, as we are discussing Golden Jubilee also. 50 years is Prabhupada's gift to us, and next 50 years is our responsibility to share with others. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Dai Gaur Premanande, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Though I am speaking, but please pray for me that I also try to follow what I am saying. Those who have services, they can carry on. We have maybe just to churn a little more, one question.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the clarification. When we chant, we should not commit sin. We should not commit offense. But sometimes we do chant and then because of a condition, we commit so many offenses in the mind. So, what is the future for that? We know that we should not, but still, because of a condition, our mind keep finding fault in others. We offend devotees in the mind.
A good question. That how we should be saved from offensive life. So definitely there are degrees of offenses, as we discussed that what I heard. So offensive at Kaya Manasa Vacha, what we have to understand, as you're mentioning, at a thinking level, Manasa should not come to the Vacha and Kaya. So though some offensive thoughts may come, though of course you are not doing, but just for the sake of understanding we can discuss. But offensive, degrees of offenses, the degree of offenses come to the topmost level where one is trying to drag down others. That is the grievous offensive is considered. Offensive in the sense envy and what is it another? Jealousy. Envy means, I don't know whether I am swapping both, but envy means what others have, I should have. Or jealous, I think. Jealous means what others have, I should have. He has a car, I also should have car. He is preaching so wonderfully, I also should preach wonderfully. He has 2 temples, I should have 2 temples. That may be jealous. But envy means, Arey, why he has 10 students? Why I have only one? I should drag him down. I should put something in their ears of the followers, counselors. I should bring some bad name to his counselor, or some trying to do something harm to drag them down. That is really a grievous offense. Just like Gopal Chapal is doing here, that he is trying to drag Shivas down. So that kind of offensive nature is very much grievous. So that should be, we should avoid. It came to body level. So thought level, it may be some thoughts may be there. But by carefully practicing spiritual life, that's why association of the devotees, hearing from them regularly, regular sadhana, hearing, associating, clarifying, reflecting, all these aspects is an integral part of spiritual life. We have a wonderful book called Japa Affirmations. Though it's Japa Affirmation, but there is one theme of reflection. How one should reflect on his spiritual life. So these are all reflective points that we need to understand what is going on internally. So when we try to put on the table, then cut it down, analysis, then we try to discuss with others. Then at thought levels only we can curb it. Not coming towards words level. Manasa should not come to Vacha and then Kaya. That's a very, very destructive to our spiritual life. At thought levels, we try to, when we analyze, understand, and take guidance, then we can reform slowly, slowly. That's my small understanding. Hope this gives something. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.